Hello and welcome to Undercover. My name is Kevin Bousquet. I'm your host. I'm a licensed private investigator. Now with me today is Doug Ralph, who is a counter-electronic technical surveillance expert. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through an actual debugging sweep. Now in this particular scenario, we're in a boardroom and one of my clients has allowed us to do a counter-electronic surveillance sweep from the very beginning, showing you what's involved. Now, just to give you an idea as far as all of this equipment here, just getting us in this boardroom was a very, very big deal. Now, one of the things that we talked about is getting a team like myself and Doug in here can be very, very difficult because we might have to come in, for example, at midnight when the client doesn't want anyone to know that a counter-electronic surveillance sweep is being conducted. Or alternatively, as in this situation, we've come in with a bunch of boxes and we look more or less like IT people, notwithstanding the equipment that's here. So that's the environment that we're working with today, is that people in the company today don't really have a clue exactly what's going on because that's what the client has asked for. And as we said before, we have situations where we're doing counter-electronic surveillance sweeps for people where they want us to come in with all the equipment and they want everyone in the company to see us doing a sweep so employees can be actually aware of what's going on, that the company is truly taking privacy and secrecy in a company seriously. And if I had my way, that's the way I'd like to come in, but you know, we are a slave to what the clients want. Anyways, I'm going to let Doug Ralph walk us through various segments of counter-electronic surveillance. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with wireless devices or RF devices. And the best way to describe a wireless device, I guess, would be is if I had two walkie-talkies, one walkie-talkie in this hand, one walkie-talkie in this hand, and that wireless signal that's going in the air and how we're trying to find it. So anyways, I've talked enough. Doug, welcome to the program. I'll leave it with you.
Thank you, Kevin. It's good to be here. Essentially, there's many facets of doing an electronic sweep. We have to consider how information can leave a premises. Exactly what you said. First off, we have to look at the wireless aspect of things, where there might be a bugging device in a boardroom, something that transmits a signal from the boardroom to points outside the boardroom or to points within the company where the product can be received and recorded or relayed to another point. In order to observe the signals in the company, we need equipment that is capable of showing us what's there. In this particular case, we have quite a good antenna that is hooked up to a piece of equipment called a spectrum analyzer. And the antenna is designed to pick up all of the signals over a very broad range, feed them into the spectrum analyzer. The spectrum analyzer then displays and allows us to justify what we were seeing in here, whether they're signals within the place going out or signals outside coming in. If they are in fact signals in here going out, then we have other equipment that we can literally locate the device at.
So this is kind of like then the world's super duper scanner, so to speak, in its own way?
In its own way, yeah.
Yes.
It's head and shoulders above a scanner. It not only will tell us what is active, but it will display visually what is active.
Okay.
There's a screen on it like a small TV set, and it literally shows every signal that there is in the spectrum when we're observing it. We can then demodulate that signal. If it's an audio signal, we can listen to the product. If it's a video signal, it will display the video product. So if there's a hidden camera within the company, we can actually see what the camera's looking at.
Okay, sorry, so you're saying that if there was actually a camera watching us right now, that we could actually see ourselves being watched in this device. Is that correct?
That's correct. And
Okay.
I have come across scenarios like this where a place is being bugged with a video camera, and it's really something to see yourself on the screen.
Wow.
And then detecting the presence of it and disabling it before a meeting takes place. So it's a fascinating way of work. It's not uncommon when doing this type of work to find problems that are in other people's places, to come across signals coming out of other companies, not only from bugging devices but from convenience devices where people may have wireless links between their telephones, and you're able to observe and listen to those telephone conversations, which are compromising in nature. So it's
So let's say basically what this is doing, correct me if I'm wrong, is we're trying to find the channel. I'm trying to put it in layman's terms so people, but we're trying to find the channel that that particular wireless device, regardless of what, is actually transmitting on, correct?
That's correct. And we literally look at the spectrum right from the microwave region right down into the very low frequency region. In other words, we encompass the whole spectrum.
Okay.
You know,
Now,
leave no stone unturned, if
what's
you will.
with the unusual antennas? Like, why are these not like your statistical kind of maybe radio antenna that we might see? Like, what is all the dressing here? Can you kind of walk us through why these antennas are built so differently?
Well, they're built to complement spectrum analysis,
Okay.
essentially. They're mil-spec antennas. They're expensive antennas. These two antennas, if you were to go and buy them right now, would run you approximately $8,000.
How much, sir?
$8,000.
$8,000 for that one antenna.
You know,
Okay.
If you're looking at a spectrum analyzer, this is worth over $40,000. This is a very good quality scanner receiver, which is used to complement a signal. If we come across something that is raising a red flag, we can listen to the signal on here while we carry on doing the actual sweep with that.
Okay, now Doug, let's say for example that we are actually being recorded. Let's say for example a disgruntled employee or someone has planted something. What is it we're going to see, or what is it we're going to hear? Let's say for example there is a device here, and right now we're being recorded, which would be obviously illegal because there's two of us here talking, and there's not a third party. So there's a third party listening. But what is it we're going to see, or what we're going to hear? What's triggering you that we know that you found something?
All right. Well, when we observe the signals on the screen, if the signal is extremely high in power, that's a giveaway right there. That says that there's something in the immediate vicinity. When we demodulate the signal, if the bug is in this room, we'll get what's called feedback.
Okay.
In other words, the microphone in the bugging device will modulate what's in the room, and we will hear it, and you'll get the howl round or feedback.
So kind of like
the two.
with the camera where we're going to see ourselves, if we were actually being recorded, we'd actually hear ourselves?
That is correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Or if there's a bug in an office down the hall, we would actually be able to listen to that person in the office.
Okay.
If it's a person typing, you'd hear the person typing. If people were talking, you would hear the people talking.
Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I'm assuming that traditionally these wireless devices that people would be used are something that's readily available on the internet. But what about when you said microwave? Like, can you walk us through? Like, I don't know anything about microwave. I'm sure our friends don't know anything about microwave. Can you walk us through devices that are being transmitted via microwave? That sounds very high. You know.
Well, microwave is very high, and I'm sure that when you were exposed to, say, video cameras, some of them were at 2.4 gigahertz. That's in the microwave region. They're just devices that operate at higher frequencies than, say, wireless microphones
Now,
at lower frequencies.
Are the microwave devices, are they readily available, or primarily like the readily available stuff, what are they transmitting on? Are they in the microwave area, or what are they in?
It depends what you go shopping for. And
Right.
anything is available from your spy stores. You know, if you choose to go microwave, you can get microwave. If you want VHF or UHF, you can get those as well.
Right.
It's a personal preference. Usually people buy devices based on the distance that they have to go. Microwave devices go shorter distances than VHF and UHF devices. So if you have to get a product from, say, a boardroom to a building across the road, you would probably go with a VHF or a UHF device.
Wow.
If you were going within the same building, you could probably get away with a microwave device.
Okay, now when you're scanning, it sounds to me like you're scanning the whole world for frequencies. We're going into what the aircraft frequency, we're going into the microwave frequency, we're going into the areas of VHF, UF. how long does a full scan of the entire spectrum of radio waves, so to speak, how long does it take you to scan that? It must take forever, no?
No, it basically depends on where you're doing the job and what signals are in that area. For instance, if you're in a remote area doing a spectrum analysis, there's probably not that many signals around from commercial sources outside of the area that you're in. You could probably do a full spectrum analysis in a half an hour.
Wow.
If you're in downtown Toronto, you're probably going to be looking at the better part of 2 hours.
Now, why would it take longer if we're in downtown Toronto?
Well, because there's so many more signals. And,
Oh, I see.
and basically you have to justify everything that you're seeing on the spectrum analyzer. Should it be there? Shouldn't it be there? If it shouldn't be there, is it a problem to your client or is it somebody else's problem? If it's somebody else's problem, you note that and you carry on.
Okay, now we're going to get into other segments of this counter electronic surveillance sweep in a minute, but maybe this might be the best time just to bring up, if you found something right now,
Yes.
you've identified the product and it's obvious that there is this device here illegally, what would you be recommending to a client now?
Okay.
You found something, what happens now?
Okay, normally this decision is made before we come in to do the job. As you know, it's not unusual to do jobs in the wee hours of the morning, and that's the last thing you need senior management to decide on at 3 o'clock in the morning is what do we do? In doing a job, before we get to the place, normally we come in and we see what type of technology they have, and also they make decisions. There's a number of avenues that they could take. They could decide to leave the device in and feed it false information.
Okay, so
And-
leaving the device in, they're going to have a meeting and they're going to say something that's incorrect to try and throw off the person who's listening.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then when that incorrect information comes back to them, then they go back. It creates a mini audit trail, if you will. And you go back to, and it will identify the source as to who obviously was listening to the meeting. Another avenue that you might want to take is to treat it as a crime scene. Bring the police in, have them do whatever they want to do. Another